So, after many years, Killing Floor 3 is finally out to, not very positive opinions. To be honest, I think it's like a 5 out of 10. I agree with what a lot of people are saying. I think it's a very average game, and I'm incredibly disappointed that this is the third game in the Killing Floor series. In fact, like, I don't know, man. I really want them to go back to Killing Floor 1. That's such an unrealistic expectation. Whatever, I just wanted to give my thoughts on Killing Floor 3 in like a non-scripted, rambly kind of way for my second channel. You know, I kind of want to do more videos like this, just expressing how I feel in not a scripted way, really. And yeah, Killing Floor 3 makes me feel empty inside. I was actually provided a review copy from Tripwire, but I'm not going to be biased in the slightest towards it. It is not a good game, like, at all. It is unfinished, it is broken, it's lacking so many features from the previous Killing Floor games. Like, you can't weld doors, you can't heal each other. I guess the perk system's kind of missing if you think about it, with how they're tied to characters now, rather than them being their own separate entity, with you being able to select any character and then choose whatever perk you want, with you actually being able to change perks mid-match at the trader. You can't do that anymore in Killing Floor 3, and you can't play as Mr. Foster with the Firebug perk anymore, or the Gunslinger perk, or whatever perk you want to use. He's locked to Commando now. So I hope you like assault rifles. And like, it's not even like the characters are really good either. Like, Mr. Foster is such a downgrade compared to how he was in the previous games. Something about him just feels really off. Like, his British wit and charm is just gone, and he just spouts random British dialogue that an American would think a British person would say, if that makes sense. Like, he feels like the most American-written British person. None of the other characters are British either. In fact, they're all quite annoying. Like, none of them shut up while you're playing. They just keep spouting random voice lines over and over and over again every 2 seconds. It's just like, oh my god, just shut the fuck up. Like, I know the characters talked a lot in Killing Floor 2 and Killing Floor 1, but at least they were saying, like, charming, iconic lines back then. Especially in Killing Floor 1. The lines in that game are so good. Amazing. Iconic. That game has iconic voice lines. It is such a British game. In fact, I think that's one thing Killing Floor 3 is lacking. The Britishness. It is just gone. I mean, they were slowly getting rid of it with Killing Floor 2, but in Killing Floor 3, that shit is gone. The British charm, gone. Non-existent. And this isn't just me being biased because I live in the UK. I think the UK is a shithole, alright? I fucking hate the UK. So when I say the British charm is good in a game, I mean it is good. Because I hate this country, I hate almost everything about it. So something from the UK that I think is good, you know, that's pretty hard to achieve. And Killing Floor 1 does it exceptionally well. Even Killing Floor 2 does it pretty well. You know, Mr. Foster in that game has some pretty good voice lines too, and I like playing as him. Now, let's talk about the gameplay of Killing Floor 3. Gameplay-wise, I do think Killing Floor 3 is pretty good. Like, the Zeds are fun to fight, the bosses are actually a step up from the previous games, which might be a hot take. Like, there's more than one boss this time. All the other Killing Floor games launched with one boss. I know Killing Floor 2 has quite a few now, but like, I don't find any of the bosses in Killing Floor 2 fun to fight. I actually prefer fighting them in 3. I think they're all pretty diverse, pretty fun to fight. They all have incredibly unique designs. And so do the Zeds. I actually really like the redesigns for all the Zeds, and I like how they interact with the environments of the map, which was something that was sorely lacking in the previous Killing Floor games. The maps were just set dressing, really, which is, you know, that's fine. A lot of games do that. You know, Call of Duty Zombies does that. All zombie games do that, really. They would just follow a path on the map towards you. They wouldn't interact with anything, which is, again, that's fine. But in Killing Floor 3, they break down walls, they jump up to high areas to shoot you from below. There's a lot of interaction in the maps, which is actually a huge step up to give Killing Floor 3 some credit. Now, to take away that credit, the guns do not feel good in Killing Floor 3. I don't know what they've done, because Killing Floor 1 and 2 had amazing gunplay. They were actually known for their gunplay. So what happened here? The guns just lack that punch. They feel stiff. they feel stiff and really light. Like, they don't really... I guess they do have recoil. It's really hard to put into words, but, like, they don't feel satisfying. It feels like you're using unfinished animated guns. The sounds don't feel punchy either. To be fair, nothing will beat the Killing Floor 1 gun sounds. They're just amazing. And Killing Floor 2 has really nice reload animations. The guns feel nice to shoot in that game, and Killing Floor 3 just lacks all of that. Yeah, so it may have some good good gameplay, but it's also not very good, if that makes sense. Speaking of not very good though, they have a battle pass now. So, yep, they're hopping onto the live service slot trend, which is absolutely amazing. I'm so happy about this. Wowee. Actually, I'm going to keep complaining about the perks. I forgot to mention they actually got rid of quite a few of the perks. I played as all of them in Killing Floor 3, and I think I only really like the Commando and the Firebug. They have some pretty good weapons. I mean, all of them actually lack a lot of weapons because Killing Floor 3 has more of a focus on attachments for the weapons to create loadouts, which, why don't you just make unique guns like in the previous games? I don't know, man. They were trying something new here, and it kind of works. It's pretty cool. Buying one of the same guns from the trader, but it has like a iron sight on it or laser sight, but it feels like a flashy downgrade. I don't think it really adds much to the game when you could just make entirely different guns that do different things. I feel like that would be way more enjoyable than changing the attachments. I don't know, maybe they'll expand on it a bit more. See, I think Killing Floor 3 does have a decent groundwork, and I feel like with updates it could be better. I'm hoping it could be better, but like right now it feels like an early access game without the early access tag, which is that's just pretty bad. That's pretty terrible, and Tripwire should be pretty ashamed about that. I feel like people would have gone way easier on it if it was an early access game. I mean, Killing Floor 2 launched in early access, and from what I remember playing that in early access, it was actually in a much better state than Killing Floor 3 is right now, so yeah. Killing Floor 3 is just not very great. I'm quite disappointed with it. I do hope it gets better with updates, because I can see it being fun. I do have a bit of fun playing it right now, and I can see myself playing it in the future, but yeah, I'm very disappointed. I don't think we'll be getting a Killing Floor 4 ever, really. I feel like this might be the last game in the series, so rest in peace, Killing Floor, I guess.